Join our commentary partnership today. They are the former Millwall and Arsenal coach and one-time Charlton manager Theo Foley, and as ever at a cold and frosty St James's Park, it's Brian Moore.
Thanks a lot, Saint. You do pick the good places to be in on a day like this, I must say. It's truly arrived up here, winter. They say it was 7 degrees below freezing last night and still 4 degrees below this morning. I think we ought maybe to forget about the cold for a little while if we can, and get on first of all with the team information for you, starting with Newcastle, with Pavel Cernacek from Czechoslovakia in goal. 2 is Barry Venison, 3 John Beresford, 4 Liam O'Brien, 5 Kevin Scott, 6 Stephen Howie, 7 Robert Lee, and then in place of Gavin Peacock, who's got flu, it's Paul Bracewell. Number 9 is David Kelly, 10 is Lee Clark, and 11 is Kevin Sheedy. Well, in the absence of the top scorer, Peacock, well, that's a real blow for Newcastle. Robert Lee, the former Charlton man, now moves forward to join David Kelly in attack, and Bracewell will take Lee's place in the midfield. We've got Newcastle coming out. I'll give you the Millwall side in just a moment, but it's a wonderful atmosphere, as we always get here at St James's Park, of course. We were here earlier this season for a stupendous game in the first division of the Barclays League between Newcastle and Swindon that finished goalless. Millwall, in fact, did the double over Newcastle last season, and will be hoping that they can, they've got a good record up here, hoping they can pinch 3 points here again this afternoon. Let's check on the Millwall side then. The American Casey Keller's in goal. Number 2 is Kenny Cunningham, 3 Ian Dawes, 4 Andy May, 5 is Colin Cooper, 6 Keith Stevens, 7 Andy Roberts, 8 Jamie Moralee, 9 the former Newcastle United youngster Ian Bogey, 10 replacing John Byrne, who's got a thigh injury, is John Goodman, and 11 is Phil Barber. Millwall favour the what is called the diamond midfield. May just in front of the defence, Bogey just behind the strikers, and Roberts and Barber on the flanks. I'm sure they're going to miss the experience of John Byrne, but Moralee and Goodman are their 2 main strikers today. The 2 substitutes for Newcastle, Franz Carr and Brian Kilcline, and for Millwall, Malcolm Allen and Alex Ray. And our referee here in Newcastle today, Stephen Bell of Huddersfield. Barry Venison, the captain of Newcastle today, in place of Gavin Peacock, who's their top scorer with 14. But Gavin, in fact, had a fitness test about an hour and a half ago, and he came off saying he felt quite sick, and he's got a real bad touch of flu, and so he's out of the Newcastle side. But it's a real big day also for the Millwall number 9, Ian Bogey, 25-year-old midfielder. It's a real incentive for him because, as I said, he started his career here at St James's Park with Paul Gascoigne, in fact, and I think in many ways the label as the next Gazza, which is what they called him when Paul Gascoigne went off to Tottenham, made life very difficult indeed for young Ian, and after 21 games he moved on to Preston and thence to Millwall. Keith Stevens, number 6, the long-serving Millwall captain. Theo Foley's up here with me. What about these conditions? Half frost and half clear, Theo?
The only thing I think, Brian, that will save it is that the undersoil heating should keep the whole thing pretty good. But it is quite daunting where the ice has managed to stay, and we're very high up here, and it looks a little bit like it could have a little effect on the players early on.
The after-soil heating was switched on yesterday and carried on right through the night. The Newcastle seeking to put an even more comfortable cushion between themselves and the following pack. They're now 9 points ahead of the rest of the field, 9 points ahead of Tranmere Rovers. Millwall playing so well this season, a 4th. Just, this was gone, but Kenny Cunningham hasn't heard it. They had just a slight wobble, which they corrected, of course, with a victory against Grimsby last week. Got a good record here, in fact. Reading in the programme today, beaten only once in 7 visits. Ian Dawes with a throw from Millwall in the all-blue strip. And you get a good shot there of the crowd behind Casey Keller's goal. And the ball skidding around on that frosty surface. Howie giving it away there to Roberts, who in turn puts a curious ball forward and gives an early touch to the Czech goalkeeper Pavel Cernicek. Tommy Wright, who started the season in goal for Newcastle, back and playing in the reserves again, but not quite fully match fit. Benison missing that one. Moralee couldn't keep it in play. Here's Lee Clark. Swift challenge there by Andy May. Number 8, Paul Bracewell. Certainly Paul has had his problems with injuries over the years. 30 years old now. Excellent team player with Stoke. And a wonderful spell with Everton. There's Andy May. And then, of course, with Sunderland before coming here to Newcastle. Theo?
I would say that solid tackle will definitely test his fitness, Brian. I feel that midfield players do make these tackles early on, especially to test just how important the game is to them. But really, I think it's a little bit unnecessary, because we're talking about 10 yards from the touchline, 10 yards over the halfway line, and I would think Paul Brayson will pick himself up, but he'll be well aware that Andy May has given a little reminder.
Well, it's Barry Benison who's the captain today for Newcastle with the free kick for the home side. Liam O'Brien's up in there, big tall figure. So too was Scott's, but Dawes nods it away. In again there by Bracewell. Moralee jumping for that one, didn't really get a positive touch on it, and just booted, toe-ended away there by Andy Roberts. Roberts again, just keeping it in play for Millwall. Bogey, little flick forward, finds Moralee with that one. Should certainly be no lack of pace about Millwall in attack, because Moralee not only works very hard, but he's quick as well, and Goodman is like lightning. Got into the final of the Rumbelows Sprint Challenge, did John Goodman at Wembley last season. Here's Bogey again. Had a nice, comfortable start to this game. The ball now finding its way to Ian Dawes, and now here is Goodman, trying to play the ball inside. Knocked away by O'Brien, and then by Howie. Stephen Howie watching John Goodman there. Ian Dawes with the throw for Millwall. Barber didn't control it. Knocked forwards by O'Brien to Kelly. Here's Lee Clark, but the Barclays Young Eagle for the month of November before this game. Such award that young Lee Clark has got. Kenny Cunningham got a little tied up there. Jamie Moralee, incidentally, won that Barclays Award for London and the South East for November. It's John Beresford. It's a Newcastle ball. Quite a full house here at St James's Park, but not far short. Newcastle 9 points clear. The place really bubbling here. It's Bogey who gets it away with a header. Beresford, formerly with Portsmouth. Ball with the right foot. Stern and a swift challenge there by Millwall. To Moralee on the far side. Roberts has made the break down the flank. Barber's waiting in the middle. Cernicek came for it. Bogey. Good play here by Millwall. Dawes. Anything might happen on this sliding, slippery surface. Those low balls played into the box can often cause all sorts of problems. But here come Newcastle with Bracewell getting the ball forward now to Robert Lee. Played forward by Benison. Benison again. And again. Hit high towards Kelly. Good jump that time by Stevens. But not out by Sheedy, bringing Beresford nicely into the play there, taking on Cunningham, playing the ball in, and Clark just lost his feet somehow. He started off with a little welter of goals, 3 in about the first 5 games, did Lee Clark, but he's now gone 22 games without scoring, and looked for a moment to be fairly close to it there until he got tangled up.
Got very, very anxious there, Brian. I felt that he hadn't scored for such a long time. That's exactly what made him be so anxious. Looks a very interesting contest already.
Barber. Scott. Sheedy. Knocking it forward again. Bracewell's right in there. Keller, good timing. And excellent anticipation by the young American against Paul Bracewell. Cunningham, little chip forward, nicely played there. Goodman did well. Played it for Bogey. Bogey continuing the run here. Really wants to show these Newcastle fans something, and still it goes on with Goodman. The referee's played it on, and Barber with the shot didn't really get a hold of that one. Had he done so, we could well have had Millwall into an early lead.
Everybody stopped there, Brian. I think they're waiting on the free kick. Very good bit of referee. Excellent.
Sheedy's touch. Kelly. Bracewell. Here's Lee Clark again. And a great save by Keller. That was much more like it from young Clark. Took the ball nicely in his stride and got in a formidable shot, but some excellent goalkeeping in difficult circumstances by the 23-year-old Keller. But a corner then for Newcastle. Sheedy with it towards O'Brien. Difficult in this sort of situation, but Millwall were equal to it, and it was Ian Dawes, I think, who knocked that one away. All the pass goes back from Venison. Cernicek has to come a long way out. Beresford hit long towards Kelly. Keith Stevens with a header for Millwall. Bracewell sweeping it wide, but too wide for Sheedy. Roberts, good, Barber, and now Bogey. May losing out to Robert Lee. Brought down a free kick, a foul by Roberts on Lee. Play for Beresford. Kelly waiting in the middle. He waits in vain. No, Beresford might find him now. Cross comes in. Kelly looks dead on the end of it. Goal kick.
There's a very interesting tussle already, Brian, developing between the boy Clark and May. And I don't think May likes actually marking him, and that seems to be his job. And Clark's run and the save by Keller, absolutely first class. Really impressed with the boy Keller. I'm sure he's never played in these conditions before.
Certainly not played here before. Wasn't in the side when Millwall came here last April and won by a 1-0, a Malcolm Allen goal. Kenny Cunningham with the throw for Millwall. Coming up to the 10-minute mark, still 0-0 here at St James's Park. But it's Newcastle who've made the running. And they get a free kick now. Well, it's a real test today of Millwall's potential against a side that's 9 points clear at the top of the first division of the Barclays League. Beresford with the free kick. Played it short to Lee. Difficulty turning. Comfortable catch for Keller. Dawes. 10 minutes now gone. Bogey. Making it over the head of Roberts, picking up Beresford. ball played by him, but Kelly can't get at the end of it. And Keller knocks it away. And Kelly, a little slow getting back, caught offside. A free kick to Millwall. Newcastle have lost 3 in the league so far. Only 1 at home, and that was to Grimsby. Very unexpectedly, that one. Although Grimsby have been playing some good stuff. And away to Leicester, and then last week, of course, away to Barnsley. Keller with a kick. O'Brien. Liam O'Brien. A neat play, just tucking it forward for Bogey. Bogey trying to get Goodman away. Goodman looking up, and I think, yes, has shown too much of that to Harry, who got back so quickly. Great ball by Bogey out of midfield, though. And a throw here for Millwall, which Ian Dawes will take. Barber chipping it in. Kelly just knocking it on. Here's Lee. Swift challenge that time from Cunningham. Played into Goodman. Knocking it back again. Lee gets there for this one, though, but there was a foul by Howie on Goodman, a free kick to Millwall. Goodman, who lost his place in the side when John Byrne arrived at the Den. Keith Stevens gone up for this one. Goodman's up for this one. Cooper's in there as well. It's an interesting and a very good free kick by Dawes. A wicked free kick there. It was curling in and just wanted a touch from any one of about 3 or 4 Millwall players. Bogey's in there now. Can he turn away on something? No. Bracewell drags it away for Newcastle. Sheedy playing it in for Lee. Down the line for Clark. What an excellent free kick it was a moment ago, Theo Foley.
Yes, it was indeed, and it was, I tell you what, it was amazed me how many Newcastle defenders stood and just watched. And even when the ball was played back, Goodman had a good chance. That was a definite chance. Ian Dawes getting an awful lot of room, Brian.
May playing that ball to him. Bogey's gone wide. Still with Bogey. May winning. Stevens. Cooper. Dawes. Little touch there by Roberts, I think it was, finding Goodman, and now Jamie Moralee. Here's Moralee with a shot, picked out of the air well by Cernicek. This game's got some good things about it.
It certainly has. I think Millwall have sort of weathered the storm at the moment, Brian. The first 10 minutes I thought they perhaps might get overrun, but they really have settled down and played some very good stuff and not been allowed to be pushed back.
Well, I think John Beresford seems to be struggling on the far side, and I noticed that Brian Kilcline is warming up. All through to Casey Keller. Beresford looks to be struggling a bit. Kilcline, of course, a big central defender, really made his name with Coventry City. Just wonder whether they might slip. Howie, I imagine, might well go out of the centre. In the meantime, it's Clark trying to get an error out of Keith Stevens. Knocked away by Keller. Too high for Moralee. Scott knocking it through. Good ball by Scott for Kelly. Saved again by Keller.
Smashing football, Brian. Really, I mean, whatever the conditions are like, football is smashing. Lovely touch, lovely play.
That was a bad kick by Keller, though. Cooper, well at home here, of course. Born in Durham, I think he was, and certainly played a fair bit of his football at Middlesbrough. Moralee's cross. How he gets it away. substitution going to be made. Indeed, it's John Beresford who's coming off. A new hairstyle. You probably remember Brian Kilcline. It used to be fuzz and curls everywhere. A real man mountain, but
Simply red.
look, there we are.
He looks more like Mickey Hucknall than Barry Kilcline to me. I wouldn't be surprised, Brian, if they move Kevin Sheedy back into there.
Into left back?
Yes, or possibly Liam O'Brien.
See, I mean, Kilcline, I would think almost certainly will go to centre back, won't he?
Yes.
Yes, Howie,
Yeah,
I think,
Howie.
I think Howie, I don't seem to be too sure at the moment. Kilcline can't get the message through. Yes, Howie, in fact, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, it looks as though Howie is going to left back. Beresford, we understand, has got a hamstring pull.
I'm always amazed that players get hamstrings, Brian, on these conditions especially, unless he's had it before. He really should have had a really good warm-up.
Here's Roberts. O'Brien, taking it away. Bogey. Now his header again. Foul by Lee that time, jumping at the opponent, who was Cunningham. A free kick to Millwall. Again, Colin Cooper's forward for this, and Keith Stevens. Curling another one in. And, well, it was Bracewell who knocked it away. These Millwall free kicks are so clever, and they're causing such problems now for Newcastle. Bogey, little touch, and a nice little touch there for May. May couldn't keep it going. Scott gets it away. Dawes challenging Kelly. Here's Bogey again. He really has got the bit between the teeth this afternoon. Oh, he played well there. But then took on a little too much, and here's Lee Clark. O'Brien, nice play from Newcastle now. Clark keeping it going. A lovely little touch there from Robert Lee. Played wide by Bracewell now for Venison. As Newcastle get a hit of steam going, and knocked in there by Kelly, and easily, quite comfortably saved by Keller.
I wouldn't think Mick McCartney would be too happy with the lad Bogey at the moment, Brian. He's doing too much, trying to impress too much. The fact that he's got back in the team, and he nearly put them in trouble there.
May with the long ball played forward, and it was Moralee who was just fractionally offside. Ian Bogey there, 25 years old. Was here from 85 to 89. Played just 21 games in that time. Senichek knocked away by May.
I wonder what an effect that will have Venison going off for them, Brian. He found to disrupt him for a little while.
Beresford
rather, yes.
So Brian gets it back to Senichek. Sheedy. It's a lovely ball by Sheedy, but also some excellent covering by May, who's doing a terrific job for Millwall in that important position just in front of the back four. Lee, stopped that time by Roberts. Newcastle's throw. Lee Clark. Andy May. This is Goodman. He's quick, but his passing was off there. Easily cut out by O'Brien. Sheedy chasing, but the man they call Rhino down at the den, Keith Stevens, comfortably there, beating Sheedy for the ball. Bogey battling for it, but didn't quite get to it. Liam O'Brien got there first, but it's a Millwall throw with 20 minutes of the game gone. Still Newcastle 0, Millwall 0.